Oh, well, hello, my friend. How was it in beautiful Tennessee today?
Oh, it's great, Adam. Beautiful weather outside, lots of sunshine, and hopefully our last cold spell is kind of behind us here. We had a
Yeah,
cold one yesterday, but we're warmed up and ready to go now.
now when you say cold, what is cold to you?
Cold is anything less than 32 or
Oh,
35.
that's a normal kind of cold because a lot of time I'm in Ohio, and
Hmm.
you have to excuse my virtual background. I had to move my office around, and it's a wreck, so I'm saving everybody's eyeballs. No pun
Hey, no
intended.
worries.
We'll get to that in a minute.
Well played there, Adam.
Thank you. Um, in Ohio, 32 at times can be a heat wave, especially this time of year. But I got a lot of my sister lives in Columbia, Tennessee, and to hear her
Mhm.
complain about the 50-degree weather, dude, it's
Drives you
just
crazy, I'm sure.
yeah, absolutely. Well,
So, are
thank
you a
you.
t-shirt and sandals guy when it's 32 outside?
No, I've never been that guy, dude. I'm a hoodie guy. I don't like a coat too much because I feel like I'm getting restricted. It feels like somebody that I don't want to hug me is hugging me. So
Right.
I'm more of a just a comfort. I like to keep things moving, but there are those who roam these streets that wear basketball shorts and a hoodie in the snowstorms.
Oh yeah.
Evidently, they have no feeling in their legs anymore. It's just gone up. They're shot.
Right.
Well, I wanted to take a minute with you and just to
Mhm.
learn a little bit about your story, who you are, and why you're doing what you're doing, and just to kind of get to know you a little bit. Maybe some people who've seen you running around but haven't had a chance to talk to you, and they've seen your name on official paperwork or something, but they don't know the person behind the name. So I don't know where you want to start. If you want to just kind of give me a background, like where you grew up and what caused you to go in the direction that you went with your life.
Absolutely. I appreciate the opportunity, Adam.
Yeah.
So I grew up here locally in Shelbyville, Tennessee, Unionville area, okay, Bedford County as a whole. My family's from here. My wife's family's from close by, and I just love this community. So graduated from community high school in Unionville, then went on actually to play baseball at Tennessee Tech,
Wow.
and was there for 2 years in Cookeville, Tennessee. Then I decided to hang up the cleats, so to speak.
Mm.
Moved back to MTSU, where my wife Katie, her wife at this point, was
Mm.
at. Um, Finished up there. Love MTSU. I take every opportunity I can to brag on MTSU anytime I have high school students in my exam room.
Yeah.
They should be paying me or some sort of sponsorship, in my opinion, but
Okay,
so it is.
we'll have to send this video, brother. We'll see if we can work something out.
Yeah, yeah. Then went on to Memphis, actually, to Southern College of Optometry there. Did my 4 years there. Loved every minute of it. I think Memphis has some hidden gems there for people that are spend a little time there and get used to the area. But
Mm.
was very happy to be able to come back home and basically live on the farm, the family farm. So
Yeah. So how did you end up getting into optometry? I mean, was that something that when you were playing baseball that you thought maybe this is I could see myself doing one day?
mhm. It's an interesting journey.
Yeah.
I was actually did career day at the high school this morning. That's what I was doing this morning.
Yeah.
Um, and I was talking about how in high school I wanted to be an engineer. That was
Hmm.
my thing. I was going to be an engineer, and that's what I thought I wanted to do because I loved math and I loved trying to figure out how things worked. But
Mm.
as things go, I went and did a career day at one of the engineering firms, I guess. And after sitting through a day of that, I said, no, not for me.
Yeah.
Just didn't like the feel of things. Didn't necessarily enjoy my time there, so I went on a hunt for something else.
Hmm.
In undergrad, I ended up tearing up my elbow, okay, in baseball, and through that had to have a lot of physical therapy.
Yeah.
So through that process, kind of got me interested in that physical
Mm.
therapy. Did some job shadowing through there. Just loved how that profession was able to help people through some of their harder times. And I loved the connections that were built at those visits.
Hmm.
because each week somebody'd come in, maybe a couple times a week, and the provider at that time would just continue to build the relationships with that patient. How's
Yeah.
the family doing? How's the work doing? Here are your hobbies. Are you enjoying those? Did you hit the golf course this last week? And
Hmm.
I just love that connection and that feeling that um, that profession was able to provide for the patients.
Yeah.
Um, but things changed,
Hmm.
and I grew a little bit unsettled with that profession for various reasons, and started on the hunt for something else.
Yeah.
And finally, I found optometry. And some of my wife's family are optometrists in Knoxville, Tennessee, just
Mm.
northeast of here. And I was able to go spend a week with them, or a long weekend, one of the two. Um, I enjoyed that connection with the patients
Hmm.
because they've been in practice forever. So each patient they had coming in knew them, and Katie's family knew the people that were coming in, knew things about their family. So it had that same sort of connection that the physical therapist had. But it's just something about the day to day that I just liked a little bit better.
Yeah.
So from
So how
there,
did
that kind of sparked
did you
my
change?
inspiration.
Did you have to then go to? Obviously, you have to go to schooling to do what you do. You can't get a doctor in front of your name without putting in the time. So
Mhm.
how did that shift happen? Did you just
So
change your direction, or
in undergrad, I guess this was my sophomore or junior year of undergrad that I kind of transitioned from a physical therapy route to more of an optometry route. And at that point,
sure?
it was just making sure I had all my prerequisites in, as
Okay.
well as the national exam I had to pass to get into optometry school.
Wow, that's
So,
amazing. That's
yeah.
cool. So what's your favorite part about your day to day life? I know that. I mean, no matter what we do for a living, it can get tedious and it can get very familiar and it can become mundane. So what is your favorite part about your day to day? And I think I know the answer, but I feel like I'd like to hear you say about that.
Yeah. I love the connections I'm able to build into my community.
Yeah.
Um, each day I see people that I know or that knew me. Yesterday I had a lady that came in. She said, "I've known you since you were this tall." And I get that a lot. And um, it helps me feel like I'm able to give back to the community that did so well for me growing up.
Hmm.
Um, and it's a way to kind of invest in that, because I feel like we are able to provide so many things for patients, not only
Yeah.
eye care related, but just their general health, whether that's through things that we see in the eyes, or things that we just know from our readings and our research.
Mhm.
We really try to provide the best things that we can for the patients, and through that, we're able to build the community
Yeah.
and support them. So,
Yeah. I guess I
cliche
never
answer or not, that's kind of what it is. Yeah.
I figured that would be the answer because I feel like that's the most interesting part is that you get to build that relationship with not only an individual but then their family because everybody wants to go to a trusted source and someone that they can rely on, and then they bring that to their personal community, their family, so they can all have that
Mhm.
same experience. But that's what I love about my life and connecting with people like you. It's just a relationship that you build to help each other win. And I never really thought about it until you brought it up. As someone who is in need of eyewear and have had issues since I was 14 years old, and I'm gonna thank my genetics for that. Thank you, Dad. Grandpa probably just passed that good genes down. But
Absolutely.
I didn't realize that you guys have insight to people's overall health. I mean, I've heard it said like the eye is the window of the soul in one
Mhm.
sense, but you can literally determine things maybe that would affect their whole life, not just their eyesight.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And that's an underappreciated fact about our profession is when we take a look, especially at the back of the eyes, there's so many things that we can see that people just aren't aware of,
Hmm.
from their cardiovascular health, how their blood sugar control is going as far as diabetes risk goes. Um, all the time, we're seeing people coming in to see their eye doctor because their vision's not as good as they'd like for it to be, even though they haven't seen their primary care provider in 10 plus years. They
Wow.
come to us and I say, hey, your problem's not your eyes necessarily, but it's the fact that your blood pressure is out of control
Hmm.
or your blood sugars are through the roof. And that is a way for us to really facilitate care for their whole body, not just
Wow.
their eyes.
That's amazing. I never even thought of that before. And I think that you're right. I don't think people think of it in that light. They just like, I can't
Mhm.
see fix that part of it. And maybe there's some underlying issues, which is why you want to go to a trusted resource and a trusted professional rather than just some hole in the wall establishment where you can just go
Mhm.
get glasses just because they don't really care about your overall health. You guys are
Yeah.
taking that service and that care for the patient to the next level.
hmm And we hear that a lot. Patients will
Yeah.
come to us for the first time and they've been going to Value Vision X, Y, or Z.
Hmm.
Um, and we get the comment at the end of the exam that says, hey, this is a level of care I'm just not used to. I thank you for that.
Right.
I'm glad I made it here. And Dr. Shamlin has done a great job of supplying the clinic with great instruments, great tools for us to be able to take care of people really well.
Hmm.
Um, and not just take care of them, but illustrate. A lot of things in medicine, sometimes it seems like the doctor's just kind of throwing things at you.
Yep.
But we've got the ability to really illustrate and show firsthand, like, hey, this is what's going on, and here it is. This is not just you taking my word for it, but you can look at it and kind of build off of that.
I think that's important because we all, when I go to it's a new facility that don't have relationship already established, I'm really at their mercy, and I have no idea what they're about to tell me or what I'm about to experience, and that can be kind of a fearful thing. And I think a lot of people, they know they may need to come and see you or see somebody, but they're afraid of the unknown. So they
hmm
never take that step to because they just think it's going to be $1 million and it's just going to be bad news. And I can't deal with that right now. I've got too much stress in my life. I don't need anything else added on top of it. But that's not the case. You guys you really open the door with kindness and you explain and you educate at the same time and to ease their worries.
Absolutely. One of my primary goals, really, with every patient encounter, doesn't matter if it's a straightforward one or one that's a little more complicated, is to make sure the patient leaves feeling confident in what we've discussed, and at least having some level of understanding and not just taking my word for it. You know,
Wow.
talking about backgrounds, Adam. Uh, I think one of the things I love about optometry is I get to educate
Hmm.
very frequently. I mean, every 20 minutes, I'm educating on a new thing. It may be the same thing that I've educated on 10 times already that day.
Right.
Sometimes that happens, but my mom, for instance, is a teacher and she's been so for 30 plus years. And I think I have some of that in her, and that I feel a sense of gratification, I guess, being able
Hmm.
to educate people. And that may be one of the reasons why I chose optometry.
Hmm.
And one of the reasons why I love doing what I do at the place I'm at is just it gives me the ability to make people feel like they understand what's going on.
Yeah, and they leave with a sense of confidence and knowing that they're in good hands. And it's
hmm
it's it's like when you find a good dentist, for instance. Like I had this experience recently. I needed some work done, and it's just like I don't know where to go. I don't want to just go some random person. I want to make sure that I'm going to get well taken care of. And I found the place, and it was like a family environment. And now I feel like they're a partner in my health. You know what I mean? And that's the same with you. You guys are a partner in the health of your patients, not just for one singular event, but for the life of that. You know what I mean? The life cycle of the patient, which is an amazing thing. A high honor to contribute to somebody's sight. I mean, that's
Yeah,
such an honor.
absolutely, absolutely. And sometimes I'll be driving home and I'll just think about the fact that what we're doing is important, and it really does take a high level of trust and
Mm.
knowing that, hey, Dr. Grissom here. I really hope he knows what he's doing
Right.
because things matter, and that's where I really try to stay on top of things and uh, think forward and stay on top of research as new research comes out, and not just do the same things that we've been doing for 15 years. But if there's
Yep.
something else that comes out that's better, we're going to jump on top of that and really try to
Mm,
stay ahead of the game.
absolutely. So what, with no pun intended, what is your vision for 2025 for your practice and for your professional life? And how do you think that will affect your, obviously your patients?
hmm I think this year we're really trying to focus on something called myopia.
Okay.
Myopia is the scientific term for nearsightedness. Um, I know there's a lot of people out there that they take their glasses off, they can't see in the distance, right? But with the advent of things like phones, as well as just the increased demand that we have for things up close, research is saying nearsightedness is only going to get worse, and
Hmm.
it's going to start sooner. Okay, so instead of little Johnny developing myopia at age 10, we're seeing kids that are 5, 6, 7. I even had a 4-year old recently that had quite a bit of nearsightedness already.
Wow.
And just like a growth chart at the pediatrician's office, little Johnny is here at age 6. This is where we're expecting them to be when it's all said and done.
Mm,
We're trying to do what we can to help slow down that process and really educate patients and really
wow.
do things like myopia control to help slow that down. So
Hmm.
that's really one of our big initiatives because what we found is if we focus on too many things, nothing gets better. But if we can really
Mm,
focus on one or two things, we can really fine tune that process and really give something that's extremely beneficial for the patient. Um,
yeah, that's what I didn't think about too. Is with the growth and the use of cellular devices and iPads and things of that nature. I mean,
mhm.
parents are throwing devices in their kids' face when they're 1 years old to occupy themselves so they quit crying or quit fussing. But I didn't. You don't
Exactly.
think the potential health ramifications of that because this is the first generation that's experienced that.
hmm And as soon as it starts, it just continues. So
Mm,
how long can we keep that from starting? Because I have twins of my own,
yeah.
and they're 3. And when you've got to get something done, and they're seeking attention essentially
Mm,
through various ways, it's very easy just to hand them a tablet and say, "Go for it. Watch the
yeah.
next episode of Spider-Man and Friends
Yep.
or Toy Story."
Hmm.
We got to be really careful about that because that kind of sends us down a road that we don't necessarily want to go down. And those are the sorts of things we're talking about these days.
Yeah, so I didn't even think of that. I've already been educated. It's an amazing because everything that we do affects everything else that we do, and you just don't think about
Absolutely.
all the different ramifications that could be. Wow. So last question, we'll wrap it up. So we're going to do more of these because I've already learned a lot, and I think that people are curious and they want to know what actually affects their life. They want to have information that can improve the quality of life, and this is definitely that. Do you
Mhm.
think for your practice, say a value brand, not that you're massively expensive, and that's I think there's a lot of confusion there. People feel like they go to like a normal eye doctor, they're just going to get have outrageous cost. But what do you say to that? What separates you guys from your competition or from other discount options? I guess is maybe a way to say it.
I think we are all about comprehensive whole health care. We're not just interested in what your glasses prescription is. Okay, get in, let's run you through a machine, spin the wheels a couple times, send you out the door. Hey, make sure you grab a pair of glasses on the way out. I mean, we're pretty upfront with people. If you come in and you're doing great and there hasn't been a glasses change, we're going to tell you that. Hey, if you love your glasses, so be it. We'll see you next year. If you have any issues, let us know. Um, but then we're not afraid to, if you come in with a want, we're going to try to take care of that. But if we
Hmm.
see a need along the way, we're going to make sure that you have all the information you need to make the decision to address that need.
Yeah.
Whether that's with your health, or you have a specific task at work or a specific hobby that you're really struggling with, and we feel like we can provide you maybe with a pair of glasses or contact lenses, or maybe even some supplements that we think could enhance your experience and help you perform better, we're going to do that for you.
Wow.
And we're not just going to run you through the stalls and get you out of there as quick as we can.
So
So
you're saying they're not a number on a piece of paper, they're actually a human.
they're people.
They're
And
people.
they're people in my community that I want to help improve
Wow.
and to help the community as a whole.
That's awesome. Love it, love it. Well, thank you, brother, for taking time to share with me today. And I know it's going to provide to a lot of people. People think about, which including myself. I'm going to quit staring at my phone so much. I don't need any more problems.
That's what we all say, Adam. We're going to spend less time on the things, right?
Yeah, right. Lord, it's just so
Hey, well,
indoctrinated in our now.
yes. Well, hey, I appreciate the opportunity, Adam, and I
Hey,
appreciate
you're
you
welcome. We'll
sitting
do it
down
again,
and
my
talking
friend.
with me.
Yeah, we'll do it again. All right. Well, you have a good rest of your day, brother. I'll talk to you soon.
You too.
Thanks.